Bama the yan yabo da jamba yon da wa do baz yon yaze demba deva yeban jeden jem yevan dore galo yerva lana meda ladom manam Nabala Gover Rabda Dabda Gomey Loi Gonda Gonye Dova Jadam Agamba Damba Wana Jeden Dana Jojes Dezen Keba Jola Yanzala Nanda Gunga Joda Zazon Yeke Janzo Seche Lambada Dawan Jiden Zana Lame Gumba Joja Jala Yanzala Zenjo Demba Dume Dave Zendon Dava Jola Yanzala Dada Umanjum Jen Jola Yanzala Gumba De Jen Jedam Bas Jen Jembed Zuna Yanden Janze Yen Dejan Jela Yanzala Dabe Daja Dabe Geve Ngazon Ledra Yen Jeda Dendan Joja Yaja Jela Yanzala Done Dore Lion Lama Dala Rada Genga Damba Yende Geda Lion Yanzala Deba Jayon Maya Yen Geva Bazando Zana Yonzanda Dana Zonje Damba Yang Amarara Mame Yamazara Javana Malalo Dondam Gujichanam Dandanda Zanam Daya Damja Zevanya Donanya Bedanama Jamala Duvaya Zabandal Dova Dova Yo Jaga Geda Bangava De Banja Baraman Daya Bhagada Janden De Mahira Jabara Da Shamba Nimba Bamba Jigo Da Geda Geda Bade Jamden De Jabe Kapja Gombamba La Gelonga Genda Jambo Don Yonja Zamba Genda Jambo Yuda Deza Jamden De Zama Nova Sheshava Shesha Nam Donja Dingen Zala Nyamba Yuzo Yonde Yonja Zamba Zamba Pava Yene Ze Onju Shira Jabara Da Yumba Zama Yoba Nyala Namba Da Ye Bomba Ngava De Da Royan Je Domba Namba Tavo Dene Sonje Jen Tu Sedon Demba Sharu Bu Yonja Zemba Jem Yadeze Onju Gana Geje Mesa Reja Ba Gon La Shira Je Paro De Shamba Samu Shoba Shipando Ba De Jadala De Geje Meba Don Shonja Semba Semba Chembo Paba Shereze Onju Ge Sedon Demba Sharando De The Geje Meso Shade Ba Rigja Pam Rigja Pomo Kon Lala Shira Jo Baro Da Shamba Sam Shoba Sheba Ndoba De Dada Namba Tava Shade Pombo Ngavo De Da Jon Rong Shan Je Tong Yondaba Jesa Tavo Zu Tomba Nya Zuso Zule Tomba Nyejen Mayano Tomba Nyelejon Zuyen Mayano Tejanda Sorvadon the Jedon Namba Sheba Nam Tomba Wo Shadeba Teta Chudan Jedonba Nyeden Zanya Meba Ma Sheba Manga Batama Tuma don tawa mepa konwa meba wo share pa deta be na tomba nyola zume zorba me de ye me number sheba me mi me naba me na me je me lu me ye me zu me da me de me reja me je me do mega kame ba ne ye je kame ye je number sheba kanja pada me do mare ba me mare Mebane gaja me gaja seba padon medo dejando dungawa don kunjoba don goba don lame ye me doba me madoba o medo jare Tedave na jonje zemba namla doba me baja jiraja baro da jomba la denje ne defa Doba me be doba me de shanja lole shandan de ne nyangelende Tashando Tusanda Number Juba Sonje Damje Jon Shira Jabaro the Yumbala Den Lama Meba Yondoba Zoba Yonja the Gambara Zoba Son Jesu Teta Vena Shira Jabaro the Shimbenga Rigwaje Manyamba Danyambara Shebenga Dunga Damje Rada Shiva Shebenga Mazambena Demba Shiba Shade Shira Jabaro the Shimbenga Tiyata Amgade Bara Samgade Buddha Sadhu Sova Shadebe Shonja Zemba Jembo Teta Shira Paroda Shamba Samala Laba Shavu Tene Jamden De Dingen Tele Jingde Shonja Bajambo Baba Jareze Onjula Lexo Sheshava Shane Lexo Rijaba Dede Yonde Joda Joji Damba De Yonda Shira Jobaro Da Shamba Sheba Shade Dejan Sheba Nam Jonjizo Yorongo Janden Deje Degeje Gazane Zedon Demba Sharando De Bodon Shonjo Zemba Jem Jereze onjeu don tamje don dembe go dera don la don me don la mayen don deza je banje de jamden de je wala namba de adam gaden gade bara sam gaden bode zo de adam gaden gade bara sam gaden bode zo de adam gaden gade bara sam gaden bode zo de adam gaden gade De Adam Gadanga de Bora Samga de Bode, so de Adam Gadanga de Baranga de Bora Samga de Bode, so de Adam Gadanga de Baranga de Bora Samga de Bode, so de Adam Gadanga de Baranga de Bora Samga de Bode, so de Adam Gadanga de Baranga de Bora Samga de Bode, so de Adam Gadanga de Adam Gadanga de Baranga de Bora Samga de Bode, so de Adam Gadanga de Baranga de Bora Samga de Bode, so de Adam Gadanga de Baranga de Bora Samga de Bode, so de Adam Gadanga de Baranga de Bora Samga de Bode, so de Adam Gadanga de Baranga de Bora Samga de Bode, so de Adam Gadanga de Baranga de Bora Adam Gadenga de Baranga de Bara Samga de Bode Soha Namo Lama Janzalo Zonjela Janzalo Jula Janzalo Gendala Janzalo Yunjemo Jira Jaba Kimbala Janzalo Daga Dembe Zendo Baja Jadanya Laya Ombo Jayanji Jira Jabara de Shimba de Samo Yola Samje Zika de Jibala De Jala Soba Mandamba Shodamje Shadoba Dejanda Dage Joyan Jemo Shiraja Bara De Shimbe De Samo Yola Samje Zikaden Tene De Jala Soba Mandamba Shodamje Shadoba Jeje Meba Jeje Shava Jeje Rada Shava Jeje Chepa meba dameba onwa meba ndomeba tade dema denjema tuba nyeje Doba zonje mananje damba dela janzelo Jana janzan bema gasa domba la yazen joga ngodanye bema jone jesa Godan Gando Mombo Go Jeja Jesa Dada Je Shinja Labja Jesa Guru Bema Zada Ho Jaya Jana Yonza Bema Gasa Dombala Yadan Joga Guda Bema Jona Jesa Dan Godan Gando Mombo Go Jeja Jesa Dada Je Shinja Labja Jesa Guru Bema Zada Ho Jaya Jana Yonza Bema Gasa Dombala Yadan Joga Guda Bema Jona Jesa Dan Godan Gando Mombo Jeja Jesa Dada Je Shinja Labja Jesa Guru Bema Zada Gozon Dosem Gara Yara Zem Bema Gara Jemon Sosa Nanya Deden Jasa Zo Gade Lama Namla Zovande Zalen Zeba Jenden Jon Teja Lama Nyamben Dengayon Nada Damba Beba Dejud Kunde Juga Doba Longjamba Dume Waze Javla Zovande Oman Juja Inja Bod Tesa Sanje Ganja Ngavanya Rosa Juga Ngazum Denzam Zova Lama Jala Zovande Java Don Jaje Java Don Jif Zavaya Gava Jonza Dage Jazam Tamja Dage Jonja Jangwa Zaya Buju Yuja Matoda Zada Linja Nyedid Sonja Jemba Medam Bavayan Doga Namba Jingla Joba Joy Sanja Namja Zamba Don Loya Jada Jadara Cheja Dama Dabaya Jaja Golo Goda Zoy Dusa Jave Javan Jon Kawa Donja Nyamgava Malan Doga Yonsa Donjan Doja Nimba Dendude Nyamsa Manga Zembe Lola Jida Jala Sanjova Zole Namdo Zam Shimba Jimbo Zawaya Dusa Sonja Tanja Jengova Zidan Jengo Jensa Jada Garan Zomba Meba Jensa Danya Badan Zawa Lamarum Boch Shabji Bemado Jama Mebala Gova Rabda Dade Gosa Gova Jembe Gome Jansa Jensa Jo Dajanam Java Metara Damjada Tutua Jembe Jeva Zova Zada Nije Jembo Zone Nima Jen Zone Mela Jembo Ngajada Peka Danga Jende Jemado Demba Tuje Jende Dajon She Ojen Zone Bema Dombe Jave Namda Ronjon Lanjet Tenzo Zanye Dajan Zomba Bema Jone Dale Benzoro Mala Jalve Zonza Jiden Zaki Jedan Nisa Maja Jujen Jime Dojit Defa Longa Jiden Ganye Nonja Zazo Chuba Janza Ganda Zondo Tamade Jamba Dojin Charabla Bema Zendo Ranjan Nam Manju Baja Damazo Ranjan Jepa Zazo Gandari Jatan Tujan Lama Dajan Je Defa Zonjan Defa Ngavanya Tempo Donse Kama Barala Zavanda Sodaji Janjala Gadalanda Gomba Dobat Nujanda Janjalanda Bajo Manje Jayinje Barana Desa Sonje Konja Ngavanya Ronsanjo Konga Sumtense Bazavala Majala Zavat Dasunda Lama Jula Konda Jojo Nonganji Dana Dejala Majua Gonsa Dinda Tamba Jujin Chen Baby Sembanda Badam Gender Ye Nama Aya Tamba Laya Genala No Yanga Tavandanda Maya Genam Dora Ganja Dana Jabamba Damje Geta Jendan Jerva Yo So, hiwa nombar hyamru yet, tepar chechong senshit ches. The meaning is that if you are Buddhist or not Buddhist, is difference is the having bodhicitta vow, the refugee vows. Those who took the refugee vows, and then we are Buddhist. So if Buddhist or not is the having the refugee vows. So when we talk about the refugee vow, so we should at least know what is really Buddha, what is Dharma, and what is Sangha. And then we if you know clear about those, then we think that, we need or not need it, So therefore, having the refugee vows, and it's very important to knowing what is really Buddha and what is really Dharma, what is really Sangha. So knowingly, if you are taking refugee vow, it then become really, you have vows, and then you are become Buddhist. Then we're talking about Mahayana and Hinayanas. What is the differences? The difference is that who have the bodhicitta mind. So when we talk about bodhicitta mind, again here we say that we have two kind of combinations of the intention, such wisdom and compassion. So wisdom is actually more knowing of the reality or of the sentient beings. Like we say the wisdom more focusing of the enlightenment, and compassion more focusing of the sharing these enlightenment ideas to the all sentient beings. So when we heat up for the sentient compassion for focusing for sentient beings, so what is mean of that wisdom focus of the enlightenment? So we, wish or hope, or we are prepared for the attain enlightenment. Someone have wish, someone have preparing to the attain enlightenment. So we have to know really what is enlightenment. So if we do not know anything about what is really enlightenment, then your wish is fake wish, your fake wish, because you don't know what is. And then your preparation or prepare of the attain enlightenment is the nonsense if we do not know about enlightenment. So therefore, knowing of the enlightenment, we need to wisdom. We have to have wisdom. So once we know what is really enlightenment, then not only you should attain enlightenment, but we all sentient beings should be enlightened, attain enlightenment. Thinking of the not only ourselves, but thinking of the all sentient beings. That is already compassion. Why thinking of the all sentient beings? Because actually the nature of the all sentient beings are same. Their nature is enlightened. You know now enlightenment. So this enlightenment is equal of the all sentient beings. Why you wish to become enlightenment? Because you knew that the reality is something wonderful. So the reality wonderful is not only your reality, but all sentient beings are same reality. So every sentient beings, the nature is the wonderful. So since that you wish to attain enlightenment, and same things that everyone should also wish to be, having wish to be attain enlightenment. So those who do not know the attain enlightenment, those who don't know their reality, because therefore they do not have the wish to attain enlightenment, but maybe we
who are claim of the Mahayanas, they knew the sentient beings' nature. They knew sentient beings, they did not know their nature. So therefore, like focusing for the sentient beings, like, oh, how they are poor because they did not know their nature. Their nature is enlightened, but they do not know. So therefore, you are sharing your knowledge, wisdom to the all sentient beings. That is we call bodhicitta. And when you have that kind of intention, when you have that kind of realization of the or knowing of the attained enlightenment, not attained enlightenment, but nature of your enlightenment. So when we are beginners, when you are, like for example, becoming accumulation path, of course we do not know enlightenment directly, but intellectually we should know, when you are read the books, when you are hearing of the teachings, so intellectually, we think that, okay, our nature must be pure, enlightened, wonderful, and so on and so forth. Because of the Buddha says, because of the Bodhisattva says, because of the Master saying again and again, because of the when you're reading of your book, because of the when you're hearing of the teachings, so we can get some ideas, we call intellectual understanding or understanding through the sign. So as always I mentioned that we can understand two ways. One is you can see directly, one is you can see indirectly with great logic. They are great link. So I mean, like the great logic means that they should have, the sign and the actual has great link. So then there is no failure. So therefore, the beginner, we do understand through the intellectual. So when we are more reflection on it, when we will be more meditation on it, though one day you may see directly, directly. So that is we call realization. That is we call noble ones. But when we focusing through our intellectual, through the science, and you are still ordinary sentient beings, but you are on the path of the Mahayana and so on and so forth. So therefore, difference of the Mahayana and the Hinayana is having the bodhicitta mind or not. So therefore, today we are claimed as all a Mahayana practitioner, as well as even we say Vajrayana practitioner. Even we are now learning of the Dzogchen course. So therefore, it's very important to generate bodhicitta mind. Actually, when we say generate bodhicitta mind, I think you more focus of the purity of the nature of sentient beings. I think a few days ago there was teaching talking about 4 kind of immeasurables, which is something very wonderful, if you remember that 4 kind of immeasurables. Those are the how actually raise your bodhicitta mind. Okay. So today you are listening teaching on the relaxing nature of mind, written by great Mahasiddha, enlightened ones, scholars, or then we call like equal of the Samantabhadra called Jalwa Longchen Ranjam. His another name is Tume Wazir. Tume Wazir is his Guru Rinpoche giving his name. That like when Guru Rinpoche was in Tibet, and then he says future, the princess of the Hlacham Pemasa will be born, and at this every tetans, this kind of great tetans like Nyon Nyumaoze, Guru Chion, all he says at that time the princess will be born in the female master, name of this, and that time she will born female master, name of that, and then the end she will born in us Tume Wazir, name of Tume Wazir. So Jalwat Longchen Ranjam actually has many names, but like common name is like Longchen Ranjam, as well as the Tume Wozir. Also, his teaching you are listening, and this teaching has three like main subject: how to enter into the main teaching, and the main then actual teaching, and as well as the conclusion of the teachings. So these are the main subject of the whole teaching. And then today we are the main subject or main topic. The main topic has 13 chapters, and then we are on the 8th. 8th is only talking about bodhicitta mind and how we can, the topic is bodhicitta mind. And this teaching has, this chapter has also three kind of headings, you know, three kind of also subject, how to enter into the actual, no, they're not entered, but showing the root of all Dharma is the bodhicitta mind. You know, without bodhicitta mind, there is no enlightenment. So therefore, the root of the all phenomena or all path is the bodhicitta. And then second is how to generate the bodhicitta, you know, more kind of extensive explaining how to generate the bodhicitta mind. And in this, the second has 10 different, you know, 10 different subheadings, like benefit of the bodhicitta, essence of the bodhicitta, and how to receiving the bodhicitta, and then how to the receiving of the bodhicitta, and how to the keep of the bodhicitta, and etc. So today we are on the seventh. Today we are on the seventh. Today we are on the seventh. So today we are on the seventh. So I think yesterday they're talking about, okay. Oh, anyway, so like what page is, okay. So today we are on the 7th. On the 7th. The 6th is, what was 6th subject?
The 3 aspects that are always to be trained in to take advantage of the opportunity.
Sorry?
Number 6 is the 3 aspects that are always to be trained in to take advantage of the opportunity.
Which page number?
161.
161. Oh, that was quite far. 161. I'm wondering. 161. Okay, right. 161. 161. Right. So as soon as you receiving the bodhicitta minds, and then I think we are also the number 5th was, I think, more joy, how you should be joy of the receiving of that vows, and then not enough to just receiving of the vows, but we have to keep the vows. So in order to keep the vows, then we have to know, or we have to train. We have to train the bodhicitta's activities. So therefore, the sixth of the chapter is more like how to you are training, training. And then the page number 164, they're saying that as we talk about like the extensive explanation, exchange self and others and so forth. And then here they're talking how to hold. And how to hold was, mainly the mindful, aware, and careful. These are the very important, using those ones. Even how you eat, how you walk, how you stay, how you sleeping, all kind of these things. It tells very details. So all movements, if we are very careful and mindfulness, it can be all the time pure. And then next, in this, they're talking about actually the purified and increased, and grasp, purified, increased. So grasp means more holding, how to holding. And then may you remember that purity, increase, they said they will telling later. So today, the seventh is now talking about, explanation of the 20 downfalls. So if you want to keep pure, first we have to know which makes are not pure, which makes are not pure. We have to know first, what really makes we are not pure. So therefore, here are talking about downfall, 20 downfall. It means that this 20 kind of actions, it will be breaking our vows. So therefore, you will be born in the downfall. Downfall means Tibet or Tongwa. Tong means downfall, and where you downfall is that downfall into the lower realms, okay? So therefore, first now here they introduce us the 20 kind of actions and bring us into downfalls. And we have to know when they're really broken and how they're broken vows. And if you know that, and that way we can also fix, that can be make more pure. So together with the also associated of, I think they're talking about qualities, but I don't know the quality, but more associated. Downfalls, there's no such quality in the Tibetan, okay? Downfall, men 20 downfalls, and with also similarly of the actions which not completely broken the bodhicitta vows, but close, like close, similar. So that's why they call associated, I think. What is associated actually? Connected. Then what does it mean qualities?
Bad qualities that are connected with the downfall.
Okay, bad quality. Well, that I didn't know that. Bad quality. But we don't have this quality. What you translate is quality is, I often think is some positive something, So, but in the Tibetan word, there's no such quality. I think there's maybe something little missing there, but there's not like such a big meaning there. However, the root text says, then he says, train in keeping these two bodhicitta without harm. 5 downfall, like wrong view, are said to be like a king. 5, like staying in cities, like his ministers, and 8 are like his subjects. The 2 are common to all. All together, 20 is the number of these. It should be known that what accord with these in harmful, not having them, we avoid the harm of all these downfalls. It should be known that practice the according with goodness. So what is that? English, I don't know. They says the 5 downfall like wrong view are said to be like a king. What does that mean? Like a king means what?
It is the one who kind of is the most highest and
Okay.
somehow like rules over the others.
Okay, it's not like that. Okay, the first I will maybe little bit kind of similarly say in the root text. So, the 5 actions which normally kings they can do, no one can else do. If king Bodhisattva, you have more problem of these 5 things like wrong view, and it will be also detailed in the coming the quotations actually. But the root text I won't say that are said to be like a king means maybe not like a king, but more for kings. Okay, and then 5 more. If you are minister Bodhisattvas, you can do. You have probably more problem of the 5 actions, for ministers. And those things are like common Buddhist practitioner, like subject, normal people, they cannot do. They have not man problem. Of course, they can possible, but like mainly for king's problem, mainly for the minister can be this problem. Then 8 kind of actions, mainly, like for normal people have problem. And then 2 things for common means everyone can do. King can be done, minister can be do that, and subject can be do that, like more common ones. That is how it means. But however, here is the more commentary. So this follows the essence of Space Sutta, Namgin Himbundo, and where all together 19 root fall down are taught. So in the Sutta of the essence space has 19, and then one, some other sutta says another, they put them together in the 20. So we have to know that there's 2 ways of we can receiving bodhicitta vows. Like we call this mind-only schools way of the receiving the bodhicitta vow, and then madhyamika way of the receiving vows. So these 2 actually has also little different of the also downfalls. Amount is little different. But today we are here more for following the like Nagarjuna way, and madhyamika. So in madhyamika bodhicitta, they talking about 20 downfalls, mainly according to the essence of Space Sutta, and then one other suttas. So all they together, like they're talking about 20s. So anyhow, appropriating the property of 3 jewels, and then inflicting punishment on the monk who possessing these plants, and then drawing in renunciation away from this plane, committing one of the 5 inexcusable actions, and holding to wrong views. So therefore, I think first one, a prohibiting, what is how you can call? Prohibiting? Appropriate. Okay, this is very difficult. What is meaning? Oh, check. So they are talking about 3 jewels. So people can offering for the 3 jewels, like for example, when they have monastery, when they have something happening. So people donating like things for the monastery, for the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, and that kind of money or that kind of property, like for example land or whatever, if you just take it, that is not proper way. That is, no one can take it, because people more like dedicate for the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. So if someone took it, it's very bad action, very bad action. And because the object, you are taking from Buddha Dhamma Sangha, and people also, they kind of dedicate for that. So actually no one can take. And those things are maybe ordinary people, they cannot take. Like for example, belongs of the monastery things only can be the king's ordering. King, you can order, okay, I will take down this monastery, or I have to bring all that what they have this monastery. King should ordering. Even in India in ancient times, the monastery is very safety. Now, unless when the king's ordering is different. So therefore, doing such things are mainly king's job. So king should have to careful, should not do this kind of things. If you are Bodhisattva. So it became many kings became Bodhisattva, practicing Bodhisattva, became follower of the Buddha. So therefore, the vows of the, they have to tell, like those are the mainly for the kings. And next one is punished monk. So that is also, it has to ordering from the kings, when they really punishment. In Indian time, the monks are very kind of, how should say, respect, respect. So therefore, no one really can punish it. Ministers, they cannot punish it. Of course, for ordinary. So therefore, this also has to ordering from the kings. So therefore, if someone does this, they broken vows. But who can do this is mainly king can do this. So that's why this is also for the kings, mainly for the advice to the king, or king should have to concerning about this. Of course, few ordinary beings, you can also punishment. Those can be, but maybe by your negative emotion or by the something, but not all the time happening. But king have true power to do this. And then also, I think drawing the renunciation away from the discipline. So the monks who have took vows, who are not killing, who are not stealing, who have not do sexual and etc. So sometimes king can be ordering, you should come to army, you should go to the robbering and so on and so forth, So therefore, also you like drawing a renunciation away from the discipline has also king has power. And then committing ones of the 5 inexcusable actions, inexcusable actions. Sorry? Inexpiable. Tibet word samme. some means that you have no border or becoming Pado. So as soon as your life gone and right where you are in the hell realms. So there is two things. If someone does great virtue actions, and also you don't have to go through the Pado, but as soon as you die, directly in the Dhammakaya or Sambhagakaya. So those you don't need really go to through the Pados. Similarity, those who done great bad actions, such like killing parents, Buddhas, Arhats, and etc. So these are those are also mainly for the kings. But of course, it is also possible for ordinary sentient beings, but mainly for the kings, kings. Then holding the wrong views. So of course, holding wrong view is also possible for everyone, but then king has very proud, and king have their own wish, and king have their own kind of sake, and king don't want to change that, so that's why they're calling wrong view or holding the wrong view. And these 5 can be done any of us or whoever, but mainly kings, they do these things. So therefore, when they put like different sections, they put 5 for the mainly kings, 8 for the mainly normal beings, and etc. And then for ministers, 5 for the ministers, those which are characterized as being like a minister are staying in. What mean that? Staying in.
Where they live.
What is?
Staying in villages and cities.
Yeah, that is also wrong, I think. Why is wrong is more mainly the destroying. They're talking about, ministers can destroy the village, the, vicinity, their vicinity, cities, towns, their environments. So these 5 different, Tong, Jong, Tongche, Tongdal, Yunkor, it's like kind of, size. So the ministers have also power, their own also small villages and their own towns, ministers have power. So ministers can be destroyed. Destroy means not only destroying of the house, but can be all people's mind destroyed, and all people's happiness destroyed. So therefore, they're talking about object, like Tong is like maybe few, like 10 to 20 houses, and Jong is maybe a little bit bigger, and then cities are even more bigger, and Tongdal is like few cities, and Yunkol means more like all around, so therefore these 5 different actions, who are destroying of the village and city, town, and these actions are more for the ministers, more for the ministers. So if you are practicing Buddhist while you are minister, so we have to careful of your actions. If you are destroying of those people, then you're breaking your vows. So the action is just destroying, these 5 different destroyings are mainly for the ministers. So that's why they're talking about, but not staying in minister. That for surely is wrong. Okay, there's not make sense. And then 8 for ordinary people. These are also mainly, mainly, you have to say always mainly. So otherwise, because all 20 It can be everyone's, can be everyone's. Then the eighth is for like ordinary teachers. Now they're talking about teaching emptiness to those of untamed mind. So of course, teach emptiness is very important, but the person who are beginner, the person who has no idea of the anything, someone really interested a little bit about Buddhism, and they came, and you say, oh, everything is emptiness. Maybe this person cannot understand that, and because of that, this person never will be entered into the Buddhism, and instead of maybe they have strong wrong view on the Buddhism, and those are not good action. That person will collection many bad thoughts on the Buddhism because of the wrong way to teach. So therefore they're talking about one that is also one of the breaking your vows, one of the falling down actions, turning back from dwelling in the Mahayana, training back from dwelling in the Mahayanas. Okay, so that is, I think, second one actually. Let me check. Lo mayong pala tongba ni tembatong. Tejian la shupa shidobadons. I think this training back from dwelling in the Mahayana is 12th one. Looks like. Sorry. So what this means, someone very, very interesting about Mahayana teachings, very interesting on Mahayana teaching, and then we can say, oh, Mahayana is no point to practice. You should not practice because of the difficult, because of the something, and you because of the you saying that if he or she turn back from the dwelling in the Mahayana. What is English? Turn back from dwelling in the Mahayana. You are cook Mahayana, kick Mahayana. Okay, whatever. So that is also one of the broken vows. So I think in earlier in the Buddha's time, they have we can call us centers. Okay, center, Dhamma center. Mahayana is one of the Dhamma center. Shavakayana is another Dhamma center. Patika Buddhas are another Dhamma center. There's 3 Dhamma centers you can think. So Buddha really kept quite well. They are individual, not much mixture, So therefore, I think where you are practicing, where you are learning something, of course we have to know all the reasons why, but it's quite important to keep, or not mixture for all centers and all ideas. That is quite important actually. In the Buddha, for example, here, if those Mahayana practitioners, teaching something and going back to the dwelling in the Mahayana is not good. They say one of the breaking your vows, and that Mahayana is at that time is one group, one group of practitioners. And then number 13, Sosotawa Ponde Tejana Jovas. And the fixate the Shavaka and Patika Buddha's vehicle. Sorry? Oh, okay. Then to join the Mahayana, abandoned individual enlightenment. A similarity. Mahayana practitioners, you don't have to be full monk. You don't have to be like what's called novice vow or what? A novice monk. So you don't have to be, you have to be a family member and so on and so forth. And then someone says, someone who are, here like for example, full monk or novice monk or whatever, and then someone says, okay, what point to keep that vow? You should give up that and join in Mahayana. You can do everything, whatever you like, and etc. So if someone does that, and that also broken vows. So actually the practice, it has to be person who really what you want. That is very important. You know, what kind of you have wish. According to that, then Buddha teach. Not something that we can fix, you know, or you should go to that group, you should go to this group, you should give up that group, and so on and so forth. So we don't say these things. That was, here it says like, if we does this, then also broken vows. And then next one is someone who are really holding the Patika and Shavaka Buddha yanas. You know, yana means path. You know, who are in the path of the Shavaka and Patika Buddhas. And then, Nyerong Tepan Zunshi. Oh, sorry, Nyerong Tepan Zunshi, Zunda Jupa. Oh, sorry. Then if someone who already took vows of the Mahayana, who are already in the path of the Mahayana, then still we say, oh, your mind is very weak, so you cannot be Mahayana practitioner. So you should go to in the lower realms, not lower realm, sorry, this lower, not lower realm, but in the Hinayana's path. You know, we say you should join in the Hinayana path. So that is also not correct. That is also one of the downfalling actions if you are Bodhisattvas. And then, and last one, or not last one, sorry, not last one, but 15th, for the sake of possessions and possessions and veneration and praise oneself and disparage others. So these are the like more they're talking about two Bodhisattvas. You know, like in order to like show yourself as better than someone, in order to find more than some other ones, other Bodhisattvas, then we talk bad things about he or she is not qualified teacher, he or she is not perfect one, he or she is much worse than me, you know, like this kind of topic. The intention is only for yourself become a little bit more important. But I think we don't do these things here, right? Maybe those are the more ancient times. So anyway, if we do these things, and that is also one of the downfall of the actions. So then this core, in Tibet word core, I think, I don't know what is English actually, but the speak of one's own, sorry, yeah, that is, I forgot, okay. The 16th, the speak of one's own profound patience. This profound patience means that some people cannot receiving like profound teaching. They cannot, you know, they have no patience. There's two things. In order to receiving profound teaching, you have to do a lot of practice. And if you have no patience, you cannot do those things. That is also one thing. Then other things, when the hearing of the like Mahayana teachings, you know, like emptiness, omniscient, and so on and so forth, people cannot bear that, you know, like such like emptiness. All phenomena are empty. All phenomena are emptiness. There's no self, there's no others, and etc., you know. They cannot really bear. So therefore, they have no patience. But then someone speaking, I have patience of the profound teaching, means that looks like you are showing that you have realization of the profound teaching, even though you don't. So these are the, like you are make kind of, you know, cheating others, showing yourself is some kind of very important. So therefore, this is also one of the action that can broken the vows, bodhisattva vows. And then next one is cultivate and take the property of the three jewels. So it's kind of similarly of this also the kings, king has also same things, but those are the mainly for the kings they talk, Kunchusumji, Kostobatons. Here I think more like they says Kunchusumji, Kunchusumji, like some kind of not, like king, he can take it, like ordering it. But then someone, they try to, not really directly take it, but also they try to use these things different ways, like for yourself, using different ways. So also in the Vajrayana, they're talking about three jewels and as well as teachers. So teacher is in the Vajrayana is very important. So sometimes I try to telling to people that, people who supposed to offer something for the lamas or the monasteries, whatever, it really has to go there. That is very important. Where people dedicate, it has to go there. And that is the virtue actions. If we use different ways, like someone offers something to the masters, and we took that, even you use your monastery or whatever, you have to get permission from the lamas. Otherwise, it also can be very dangerous, actions. And as well as also something that they offer to the three jewels or common of the sanghas, we have to permission to use that. Even you offer like some other monastery, some other lamas, it has to really careful and get permission from the sanghas. Those are the very important actions. And or otherwise, then we are doing like downfall actions. If you choose that, then we can do any time. The next one is three jewels, and the next one is give up the wealth of samadhi for recitations. This is also important things, For example, we have three kind of practitioners. One is totally meditation, go to remote place and meditation. Then one group, they are studying, living in the monastery, and they study, they study. And those who are living in the forest, they kind of renounce everything and they went in the forest. And they stay there. They don't have much things. So if we take something, eat or cloth from there, and even though you give to those who are study ones, even those who are study ones, like you give that coat good place, but still the who are meditation ones, he doing much more important than just some study, and then he live much more simple than also those who are studying, and then he live also alone. Those who are studies, they should have many people, they can always find something. So therefore, if you take from the things from the who are meditation practitioner and give to the recitation or study groups, that is also not good, not proper actions. So therefore, here says it's one of the downfall actions. Downfall actions. So the gift, I don't know this English, to give up the wealth of shamatha for recitations. Is right correct?
It's wrong translation.
Right what?
Wrong translation.
Okay. What is right one?
So
Because give up is abandon. So from this, what is written here, understand that abandon recitation but do shamatha. So this is wrong.
Shinipi nor katen pala but totally wrong. Okay. Oh. Sorry? It's downfall actions. So what the exactly meaning is that if we take something from who are really meditation ones and give to those recitation ones, and that is downfall action. So even you give to the good place, someone recitation, but these two are big difference because the meditator one, he cannot move from there. He is retreat. He is in the forest. If he don't have left any food, he will going to die. So those who are recitation ones, you can go everywhere. You can try to find many things. So therefore, we cannot take things from meditation ones and give to those who are recitation or who are study ones. That is the downfall, okay? So that is 18. And this 8, altogether is 18, but this 8 is mainly for the normal people. They talk about the subject, mainly. The 5, the mainly ministers, the 5, the mainly kings, But king can also do these things, and also king can also destroy it of the cities, towns, and etc. But the mainly is like big meaning there. So therefore, actually, all of these 18 can be done everyone. So you have to really aware. And then next, here says now this, as I mentioned, the one common or two common ones. Two common one is that now they are saying that tomorrow, if someone does not have or if you give up of your aspiration bodhicittas, the aspiration bodhicitta is okay. Now I cannot do. Okay, I say now. Okay, I give up this. Like Avalokiteshvara, he should not abandon his act of the bodhicitta, but he was one moment he think, okay, now I cannot do. That was like his aspiration was kind of, he give up. So aspiration give up is something like that. So he says, as for those that the common to all, abandoning the mind of entering makes 19th. What is that?
Giving up aspiration, bodhicitta is number 19.
Where is the giving up bodhicitta? The aspiration giving up is there?
Abandoning the mind of entering.
But that is entering, but not aspiration. No, abandoning, yes, but one is abandoning of the aspiration, and the next is abandoning of the entering. So there's two abandoning, abandoning of. Some people can have aspiration, but can you give up the entering? And some people can have entering, but maybe you can give up aspiration. So these two are common of all of them. So these two, and one is the more according to the jewel hip sutras, jewel hip sutras. And other 19th are according to the sutta of the essence space, or essence space, Namgin Himbundo. So these are the downfall actions, I think. And so the meaning of the abandoning the mind of entering is as for that the common to all That is more like the here. Okay, I think one have to. Oh, that is more like that don't do any virtue actions. That is like meaning of the abandonment of the mind of entering. But then here they're talking about only 19, right? They don't counting 20.
There is this.
Sorry?
There is the abandoning the aspiration is 19 and abandoning the mind of entering is 20.
Okay. Where is 19:1? Okay, there's next verse. Okay, abandon the mind of entering, not uniting the goodness, making 20. Yes, but then what is different? Up and it's down. Mind of entering, making is wrong. Mind of aspiration instead of entering. You know the aspiration, mention. Mind of aspiration. Abandon the mind of aspiration makes 19, and then according to the Jewel Hip Sutras, abandon the mind of entering, which not uniting with goodness, making 20s. So those who wish to take vows, then we have to know what kind of we need to keep vows. And then on the top of that, then we have to check, can we or not? Can we really take vows or not? If we don't know anything about downfalls of the vows, then vows are not that powerful, but can be also full of downfall actions as soon as you're receiving vows. And then that is not so nice. Right? Then they're talking about Darwin Bindo, Namun Bundoli Chong, Jusen Pongwa Nyet, Tongjet the Salos. And then here also Longchen says, not only Jewel Hip Sutta says about who abandoned of the entering mind is the downfall actions, but also Moon Essence of Sutta, Essence of Space of Sutta, also says that abandoning the mind of entering is a downfall. So therefore, here and all the earlier translation Tibetan Buddhism followers, mainly we are following of these suttas and this lineage. So therefore, we counting of the downfall action is a 20. So downfall arise. Since these are unsuitable for the Bodhisattva, try to remit them. Okay. So therefore, Damba Nyeship Teda Tongje Teda Shonana, Shonje Semba Morombi. So once we took vows and we have to know all of this, but it doesn't mean that you have to. Of course, we cannot keep all the time completely pure and etc. But the things in the Madhyamaka tradition, you don't have to receiving Bodhicitta vow from the masters. And so therefore, you can receiving also yourself, And therefore, here says that when we have downfalls, we should also make remit. It means you have to take vows every day, even 3 times or even 6 times, whatever, you can take every time. So therefore, that way we can kind of keep, I think that the English, they says, try to remit. So like when we talk about soyong, what is meaning of the soyong? What is meaning of the soyong?
So is the negative and John is the positive. Giving up the negative and positive.
That I never heard this explanation. I never heard. So it's negative, and yang is purified. Where did you find that? That teaching where you found?
I remember wrong. I think from the
Sometimes you'd have some right, please. Then I'm very happy. One time wrong is possible, 2 times wrong is possible, but all the time wrong information is how possible? Really? Okay, Damba Nyeji Pali, Tratong Jisonsu. Then the next is also they're talking about four downfalls. The four downfalls. Four downfall is more like, I think, mind only tradition style. So what was four downfall is, for the sake of possessions and venerate, praising oneself and disparaging others. So actually, of course, these are the unvirtue. Even you are not Bodhisattva, or even you don't took vows of the Bodhisattva, and still those are the not virtue, not nice, because it harms people. So this is not good. And to those who are suffering of without a protector, not giving good and dharma because of what is avarice? What is meaning of avarice? Greed, right? Greed. Because of your greed, should not giving dharma, should not give anything. Even they are suffering, even they have no protector, and these are the also root of the downfalls. Root of the downfalls. And not hearing others' confession and instead stirring up anger. So therefore, if you are, for example, Bodhisattva practitioner, and then someone shouting you, someone fighting you, of course we are living in samsara. Or for example, you are shouting each other, fighting each other, whatever this moment. And then next moment, maybe other person has regretting, because, oh, that was wrong, that was really my bad temper or whatever, and try to say sorry. Then we should accept that. That's gone, All of us have this problem. So once come and once go, as I mentioned, this like momentary, like this conception. So that deep down, people have respect. Deep down, maybe they like you. Deep down, maybe they have respect. So next moment, someone came to say, I'm very sorry, that was, whatever excuse, even good or bad, I don't know, but whoever bring excuse or whatever, and still we say, oh no, I will never give up or something, keep that continuously, that anger, and try to push far away, and that is not good. So Buddhist Chitta, we should not give up even single sentient beings. That was how we practicing, right? So therefore, that is like that, okay? If you are not give up their confession or give up your anger, even they confess you, and that is not good. Then abandon the Mahayana and teachings are facsimile of dharmas. What is facsimile? Oh, this is the essence of Mahayana is thinking of others. So, if there's not such thinking for others, even this master says very nice words to you, and very pleasing you, that is like just only looks like of the Mahayana teaching, looks like the kind, Mahayana teaching is kindness, right? They looks like very kind, looks like very soft, but inside there's no really thinking of benefit to others. So therefore, these are the like, Tibetan English, I don't know, facsimile, maybe. Facsimile of Dhamma is what? Copy. Like similarly, right? What is copy? Similarly of the Mahayana, but not essence of the teaching there. There is no essence mind to really show. That is one thing. Then other things, even they open Mahayana books, but they don't know themselves what they're really talking there, and still they try to teach. Sometimes I mean like little bit this, I don't know what they are talking, but I rely on you because you are all very clever, and there are many clever people around here, so that gives me my wisdom a little bit raise from here and there. So that is fourth, and these are the more like, I think, according to this mind-only schools. So anyway, if it does this four, also it blocking the samayas. So we have to constantly, even you are following the Nagarjunas, but still we have to constantly of those teachings, because those are the really great Bodhisattvas. Their entire life they're practicing, and they are follow the Buddha's teachings. So therefore, we have to constantly this. And if you are following the mind-only Bodhicitta vows, also we have to constantly of the all other 20s. So therefore, but these are the not totally different than other 20s, right? And then here they're talking about one quotations. I think this quotation is more from this 20 vows. Yet no kutik chapari dado yeme lamoton dungangeme chirwala sen okay. By desire of possessions and veneration, giving praise to ourselves and despairing others, and those who suffering without a protector. Then there's, I think, missing something. When you are suffering without teaching emptiness, teaching emptiness. Protectors struggle not giving wealth or dharmas, wealth or necessary needed, not really wealth, but or any substances or whatever we should not, don't give because of strangely. That is two things. I think strangely is more like greetings, right? Greet, right? Or stinginess. Or stringiness. And then also can be that you don't have anything. That is different than struggling or stinginess, okay? So when they're talking about stinginess or struggling, not giving wealth, as well as also dharma. If you have no time, if you have a really problem, it's different. But people have stinginess of the also teaching, I got also some information that says I cannot teach too much because that is not so nice. Someone told me, but I don't have to say name. And then also I got some advice from some Tibetan says that I should give only more jokes, not teachings. So I told him I don't have time for joke. If they understood, they're lucky. Not understand, that's not my problem. I try to really say what book says, and I explain it. That was my thinking. Not I will make you happy here. If you need to be just joke or happy, then those people should go to this kind of parties. And this is better for them. Anyhow, strictly not giving dharmas. This is important, and then not hearing the confession of the other peoples. People can say bad, people can do bad. Of course, they are under the negative emotions, but may they change their mind, Why we are telling every day again and again? Because maybe today you don't hear even what I'm saying, but maybe tomorrow you will hear something, And next day maybe you can think something, and maybe next day maybe you can change something. So therefore, I think hearing again, reading again. That is really very important. Once you're reading, not enough at all. At least 10 times, 20 times. So that way we need to actually develop. That way we need to really cultivate of our knowledge and omniscient and etc. So anyway, confess of the peoples, and then, but rather heaping up anger at those others. That is not good. Departing from the path of Mahayana teaching, instead facsimility of the dharmas, like looks like you are very compassionate, but inside is only sake of yourself, for example. But looks like you are very aggressive, but maybe thinking of only how they train yourself. So this is two different things. So we have to really hard to know what is really best one, So therefore, what we call this facsimility of the Dharma is these days actually more popular, I think, more popular. We say that the great medicine which can kill 100 kind of sickness, the taste is not good. Taste is very bad. So we call poisonous. The taste can be very sweet, but once they goes inside, there's two different effect. So therefore, this facsimile of Dharma, teaching, action, they can be very dangerous. So we should aware. We can also do this kind of dangerous things because these days maybe these kind of things are more popular, I think. But also, if someone does that, we can also falling down or failing, right? Failing into that. You are going that way and that direction, falling into that. So therefore, use your wisdom and read more books, Mahayana books. Oh, sorry, now where we are. Okay, that was that. No, I have to read from. Okay, that was now finished that quotation, right? Hison soose. Teon lome tome jindo no jiba namji tatong yirye lanse yong tongwa le shebar yepi sha cho tamla teni je mumba nyon zelang ngenda budget yes lapar jo tatong yo kono sona chuda ji nambas. According to the teacher Asanga is more like following the mind-only school, mind-only school. So, and his followers, the four root downfall are explained. You know what they explained? Also, the manner of receiving bodhicitta is said to be it's arising from the pure mind. The pure mind is very important. But they need also someone who are some masters, pure mind, and then depending only on homage and offering after first inquiry whether one's being has been defiled with obstacles. Okay, this I have to read in Tibet. So with the devotion, with the pure mind is more devotion. And also here says like prostration, offerings makes melt the mind. And then top of that, then they're talking about here after first inquiry whether one's being has been defiled or obscured. It means that the asanga, when they take receiving, you have to have from someone, master. So you go to from the master, do prostration, offerings, and etc. Then master asking you, are you able to really take vows, And in the Vinaya, they says that whoever giving, vows, they have to ask, did you get permission from your parents? Did you get permission from your kings? You have to carefully, you have to ask, because, once you are entered into the monk, then if someone destroyed that monk, it's big negative actions. So before you are entered, you have to check this person has no obstacles. Because in earlier time, they just run away from the parents, run away from the kings, and say, I will go into monk. Then he already done many, many bad things, which he has to do something back, But then he just, not because of the renunciation, not because of the interesting, but because of just get free those things, and then he go to the monks. So therefore, they have this kind of history problem. So therefore, either you take Vinaya vows, and then Asanga tradition, even Mahayana vows, you have to inquire, are you really able to do? Are you not sick? Are you not, under the debt, and so on and so forth, Some people make a lot of debts, and then he cannot pay, then they go to the monk, and then after you don't have to pay. And that is also makes unharmony in the relationship with the public, and so on and so forth. So therefore, here talking about inquiry, whether one's being has been defiled, what is really defiled, such like did you haven't killed someone, and so on and so forth, If they done something, that those are the big obstacles for him to keep continuously. One thing is that his intention is not pure. Another thing is there coming a lot of problems coming there. He cannot be as really monk or bodhisattvas, if something happens. So it's better that before and then if something happens, you should not give vows or skirts and like that. That is like how the ritual things, okay? And then if those person, there's no any kind of obstacles, that defiled is, what is really defiled? No, with obstacles. If there's no obstacles, and then you should give vows. And as soon as they receive vows, and then we have to tell also what is you have to train. You have to tell you receive a vow, what you need to keep, so on and so forth. So therefore he says, by that these obstacles will have very little rappening. After that, the precision of the said. Okay, I think there is something missing here then. Jila lapar jojing is going to budget. Jila lapar jojing. Sadon you will go on to that Jones. Is there any says after the inquiry whether ones have been defiled with obscures, and then you receiving vows, then after he says you should also tell how to training these things. Telling how to training is, I think, missing. I don't find from here. At least I don't find. And then by that, these obstacles will have very little rappening. Or what it means that after that the reception said, what mean?
After that, the precepts are said.
I think.
Inquiry, they give precepts. When they inquire if person is not escaping from somewhere or have permission from the king, they give the precepts.
Okay, give the vows, right? Vows. Precepts is okay. I think this by that these obstacles will have very little rappening. Okay, what does this mean? I think
More like a confession. Yeah. If you confess your obstacles, then they will not like it.
this is little. I think in this refining things, what I understood in Tibetan is that they says on homage and offerings, like also the manner of receiving bodhicitta is said to be it is arising from pure mind, and then offering and pilgrimage, and that makes refining of his mind, in order to refine of his mind, like he says, kind of course, there's not completely refining, but in kind of auspicious to the kind of refining of the mind. Chongzela and hand budget. Oh, I have to check this really. Shanchola ten Jim Humba Nyongzela. Then Jim Humba Nyongzela hand budget. So I think in order to my understand is this rapen is should goes like more positive way. Okay? And then you have to ask the asking before you are receiving, asking, and then after there's no problems giving vows, and as well as also telling how you are trainings, trains, how you trains. So if any of four root downfall have arise, they may have remedying them is that the 20 vows. So in the Asanga tradition, Asanga tradition, also when you are remedying or take review, also necessarily needed someone there. In Nagarjunas, you don't have to, you just can visualize the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in front of you, and you can take vows, but Asanga, it should be have also someone there. So therefore, here says, must take again, when you are broken or when you done some downfalls, actions, during which defilement must be confessed 3 times to the separate before us. Number Slayon Longwacha, Sabandrin, Sanlasha, Jin, Jigundana, Hama Nams. But no,
In
member.
the other translation, it's not a quotation. It's just the same sentence from the previous.
But no quotation?
Yeah, in the other translation, it just continues that the 20 vows must be taken again.
No, 20 vows, and this is quotation. The quotation for sure, this quotation, but it's still like, it's not very clear. Take again, and during the defilement must be confessed 3 times to the superiors from before us. Okay, maybe we can stop here for a while, okay? Short break. Number Lion Longwacha, Sabandina, Somnasha, Chigundana, Hama Nams. Must check again, during which defilement must be compared 3 times to a superior before us. Should not be accepted more than 3 times according to the word explained.
I don't know if in the Zen tradition there is also a third way to like the Mahayana poristaval si
Sorry.
in the Zen tradition.
Where is Mr. Oh, you are there. Okay, okay. What happened?
I sent you a message that I have some inflammation here, so it's very painful.
Okay, okay. Then painful is not good. I'm wondering that we can say that I'm very painful when we meet the Lord of the Dead.
Sorry, I can't come.
So anyway, according to the Asanga or mind-only school, they will not accept more than 3 times, like renew of the vows. And then whenever you take receiving, it has to be always master, from the master. And once you're having the vows, then the downfall action is only 4. And once we do this, we have to immediately remedy or remedy, I don't know. Remedy or like re-receiving. So you can do only 3 times, not more than that. And then Nagarjuna or Madhyamaka way, we can take both, either the masters or the yourself. Normally we call yourself. And then the once we are receiving vows, the downfalls are 20, but we can also re-receiving vows as many times, as well as also they don't need master. Also you can kind of taking from the master, but you don't have to. The amount is kind of not required here. You can take 3 times day, 3 times night, whatever. So that is how it's different. So therefore, here they're talking about 3 times. According to explained in they should not be except more than 3 times, according to what is explained in the Buddhist Sattva Bhumins. The Buddhist Sattva Bhumi is one of the book from the Asanga. And Asanga, as I mentioned, he receiving his vows from the Buddha Matya. Actually, Buddha Matya is who really came from the God realm, who is in the God realms, and giving only loving kindness of the teachings. So Asanga, he practicing 12 years to accomplishing of the Matya, but finally he met him. He was become like really man to man. But the way of first he making is, as I showed, that one the old dog who is now cracked in the body and so on and so forth. And that way he met the Matya. So after that, then he bring Matya's teaching into this world. We talk about 5 different books of the Buddha Matya. And that was like kind of Asanga bring in the world. So Asanga also, he have his own teachings. The one of this is Bodhisattva booming. And then here says, the follower of the Master Nagarjuna said that the way of receiving is that the karma of this arising in the pure ecumenage continue producing the sevenfold service. And the ocean-like symbol does not asking about former obscurations and does not talk about the later trainings. So of course, then once you are receiving yourself, then no one will you asking. But mainly your merit, mainly your intention, mainly your karma. Those who have really repented of the karma. So in the Buddha says, even you hear the teachings from the skies, from the sound of the echoes, even from the birds, that people can open their mind, and through that they will find the benefit of the bodhicittas and Mahayana paths and so on and so forth. So there is many that kind of history. So therefore, more like here, just based on your karma, so therefore, accumulate merit which you create through the 7 branches. And that way your mind become more purified. And that way, then you have able to also receiving vows by yourself from the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 duration. So once you are receiving, then there is no such being. So therefore, there is no one telling you you have to do this and that, after. But the Asanga there is master, and they will ask you, and they will telling you after the receiving vows what you should do and what you should not do, and etc. So therefore, here also says, what is to be guided again is the 19th or 20 root downfalls. So what to be guided, okay, against, like this 20 downfall actions is something we should abandon, in the Nagarjuna's followers. So the way of remedying according to the essence of Space Sutta is that after supplication, downfalls are remedied. So therefore, the way of the remedy is totally different, because Asanga says you have to have also masters, and you cannot have more than 3 times. And so Nagarjuna here says that you can do yourself any times. So this is done as many times as the downfall received. Thus, the two traditions of mind only and Madhyamika are little different. So therefore, actually the people is different, you know. Someone has more merit, someone has middle merit, someone has lesser merit. So therefore, someone can able to receive it from the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, someone can receive it from the masters, someone cannot receive any of the bodhicitta vows for a while. But eventually, it has to somehow ripen slowly, and it will go through the bodhicitta mind. Why it is? Because our nature is great compassionate and kindness. So therefore, general people like more love and compassionate ones. They don't like who are, you know, who are always harm someone. You don't like. You know, we feel also more like who are more kindness than who are really aggressive, aggressive, because that against of our nature, against of the, you know, our reality. So therefore, and somehow eventually it has to develop our nature and more into that. So eventually you will take vows of the bodhicittas. So however, they are the two different, okay? And then now they're talking about associate, because the root text or the subject, the page number was the 247, says that downfall together with associate and associate qualities, but associate. And now here are the more associates. As for the factor associate with these downfalls, so some negative emotions are not downfall, totally downfall, but close to the downfall, more dangerous to the will be downfall. So those are the we call associate, I think, in English word. So for example, as associate with the wrong view is the obscuration of mere devotions. So so the wrong view is big different than actually no devotion. So if someone already have the wrong, no devotion is very close to the wrong view, you know, to the Dharma or to the teachers, to the teachings, and etc. So if we are lack of the devotion, interest of the devotion, and it is very close to the really seeing of the totally wrong. And maybe if you be that, try that something maybe, or somehow then anyway they start seeing of the wrong view from the lack of the devotions. So the non-devotion or no devotion is the associate of the wrong view. So similarities, that if you are already kind of taking things from the temples, little things that you are already now kind of dangerous to the, also taking, you know, 3 jewels things. So this kind of, so that way we need to know what is exactly meaning of the associate. From this fault, one should have the idea of the all, means all the 20 downfalls or the 4 downfalls has some kind of what's called associated. So, if for example they're saying that for the sake of positions and veneration, praise oneself and this praising others. So this similarly what you can say, you know, even you, how you say, don't say exactly that you are something very yourself saying, high kind of things, but you can also looks like you can act like that and think of the yourself. It's like more associate. So the virtue attitude and so forth that abandon the wrong view of said to be without the fault. Okay. They don't lota pongwe sen gewa la sopana tongwa me passe. So therefore associate is kind of close to the downfall. Then non-downfall is now like this virtue attitude and so forth that abandon the wrong views and said to be without fault. You know, for example, of the totally you abandon of the wrong view with your virtue thought, virtue attitude, then there is no such downfalls, no such associate of the downfalls. Or I think here says there's no downfalls. And then no downfall and also even no associated downfall. So we thought fourth, by not being obscured by the associate factors. Chepa the yenda non dreva nguji labya yinos. And then what we need to train all that is associated with virtue is said to be what we should train in. All that is associated with virtue is said to be what we should train in. What is that? Anyway, I think if someone does that, anyway, this talking about that with virtue attitude and then abandonment of the wrong view are said to be without any fault, but not being obscured by the associate factor. So we are also said to be without the fault. So therefore, all that associated with virtue is said to be what should be trained. The particular that is connected with benefit others in these main things to be trained. So anyway, we should avoid downfall and associate of the downfalls. We should apply non-downfall actions and also associate of the non-downfall, associate of the also virtues, you know, non-downfall and associate of the non-downfalls. And then particularly always link with the benefit of the sentient beings. Those are the you have to train. Those are the you have to train. So this subject 7 is very important subject that from this we know what is really right and what is wrong and what should we do once we take vows and what should we not do once we took our vows. Also, once you wish to take the vows, we have to check, can we keep these things and can we do that things? So therefore, this 7 subheading is also very important, okay? And then now 8th. The 8th, they're talking about jepa. How you keep your vows like individual, the both, you know, like aspiration as well as entering. You know, they talk separate. You know, now these 4 downfalls are general, both bodhicittas, okay? Both bodhicitta means aspiration and entering. But now individual, they want to tell us. So therefore, individual way of guiding, aspiring, and entering. And then first one, member, aspiration. Member, it has two. So therefore, the first is brief teaching. Tana menju soso sonso ke de teon tombo member sonso lao polongo goni sonwana laba chenye pa hyo tera grambas. The two is one is okay. The brief. And now the individual way of guiding, aspiring and entering will be explained as to how aspire is guided in terms of accepting and rejecting. Regarding the detail of these many things as are to be trained in brief, Sundona Napu Chuyin Pongxin, Kabu Chuyin La Neneshas. Briefly, for black dharma ought to be avoided, and for that a pure and white should earnestly be performed. And that is short, and the more details, they're talking about first what you need to abandon. So extensive explanation, the instruction to abandon the four black dharmas. For black dharmas. So therefore, the first is Chöyul Hlutong, Joba Mepa Hit, Tamba Nala Manye Dobatong, Nomo Nondo, Yono Yeshoba, Nobu Chuyulabit, Ponsalos. These are the four black actions that are to be avoided. Cheating any person worthy of the respect. Worthy of the respect. So worthy of the respect means like, from the age or generations are worthy of the respect. Of course, then the inner who have more realization or kindness or those persons are worthy of the respect. There is no question about the Buddha Dhamma Sanghas. Even we are Bodhisattva. Every sentient beings are worthy of the respect, actually. But here mainly talking about more high realization and so on and so forth, like parents and old senior beings. The producing regret for things that should not be regretted, that will be explained, okay? And seeking unpleasant words to those who are holy ones. Okay. So speaking unpleasant words to those who are holy ones. Behaving deviously to sentient beings in general. So I will read this, the next, this hip sutras. And then Kashyapa, if one possesses these dharmas, then bodhicitta will be forgotten. And what are these for? The slandering the guru and those who are worthy of respect. More like, try to really, what is slandering? Cheating? Talking bad? Saying bad things. True. Sorry?
Saying that the guru is bad or something like that.
More like here the cheating or like okay, anyway. So if we do not have respect to the gurus and Dhamma, Buddha Dhammas, then we are already very much in the downfall. We are already downfall. And then you have to be also, we will find also wrong views and many things will happen. So therefore, and slandering the guru and those who are the worthy of the respect, and produce regret to the others for things that should not be regretted. Because like if someone become monk, for example, and then we say, oh, how you can become monk. You should be regret to be monk, because if you are not monk, then you will find good family and good business, good making money, and so on and so forth. We are bringing down, someone from really try to bring far from the Dharma, and those are the, then may this guy can be possible also regretting, oh, maybe I was wrong. If someone entered into Buddhist, for example, and then someone says, oh, why you are go to Buddhist? There's nonsense, religion is nothing. We can tell like these kind of things. And then if this guy become regretting, it means maybe he will go away from the Dharma, go away from the monks, and so on and so forth. So therefore, they are talking about these things, okay? And then next is the Bodhisattva who have aroused bodhicitta, speaking with the fault of the angry mind. And these are also very, very bad actions. So in the Bodhicaya Avatar says, Yendon de Chola so Kawaton the Savaye, Gesa Chini Yobaka, Kondra Chicken Jumpers. Someone collection the virtue action through the generosity, passion, diligent, and so on and so forth, and offerings to the all thousands of Buddhas in the thousands of kalpas. But if you have angry 1 second, and it will be destroyed. So this angry means not just normal angry, but angry to the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas, or those who have arising of the bodhicittas. So that makes, destroy of the all our virtue actions. So that's why he is saying, speak to the fault of angry mind. And here it says fault of angry mind. It means the fault is angry mind, or what? Are you busy with telephone, or what? Are you trying to find some word? Oh, okay, yes, of course. Which one you try to find? Which English you want to try to find? From the book. You forgot which one you tried to find. Well, that's nice. So Anna tried to find the English word from telephone, but he don't know which words he tried to find. Yes, that you forgot. Yeah, of course, that makes sense. Behaving deviously and dispassionately and sentient beings. I think this was we talked about yesterday also. Deviously and dispassionately. That we already told yesterday, right? Sentient like cheating through the deceptively and deviously. I hope you know that what means. So yes, now they're talking about 4 white dhammas. So all these 4 is you have to abandon for when you are practicing of the aspiration of the bodhicitta. And now we have to apply 4 white dhamma, and these are the 4 white dhamma in which we should place our trust and rely on holy ones and giving praise to their virtue and encouraging sentient beings to do what is truly good, producing perception of the Buddha children as the teacher because of the 4 aspiration benefit beings. If you have followed the great masters, so we are saying that even your general tree, if you throw on the sandalwood, and this tree will have good smell, even though you are not really sandalwood wood, but it will get smell of the sandalwood wood. So similarity, if you are always follow the masters, even you are ordinary sentient beings like ordinary tea, but you will have the smell of the master's qualities in certain point. So therefore, follow the master is very important. And then once you are following, it's very important to see the qualities. And maybe you can say those qualities also. And that is also very important. If you do not see the qualities, then maybe you will not see these are the holy beings. And maybe you will say some bad words, and that is also not good. So therefore, seeing qualities from master is not easy. We have very strong kind of ignorance to find the same master's qualities hard, but we have to pure perceptions, develop. Anyway, Sanjay Namna Yonda Gela course and try to encourage to do virtue actions. Of course, when we are tried to encourage, then ourselves also need a little bit of virtue mind. Otherwise, it's very difficult. And then Buddhas, or mainly Bodhisattvas, we should respect as other really like the Buddhas or masters. We have to generate that. And then we need some extraordinary mind for benefit of sentient beings. The extraordinary mind means not really based on the self-clinging. So we are doing many things just based on the self-clinging. So extraordinary mind means like no self-clinging, but also we try to really bring genuine kind of virtue, or they're talking about truly good. Truly good is what? The enlightenment path. So bring to the enlightenment path and try to teach how to practice of the enlightenment path and with extraordinary mind. So those are the the Dharma, and if someone rely on this, then our aspiration bodhicitta will increasing. So the what is called here, the Longchen Ranjapa's word, Zumpoma no Senjen la Pendi Yichirwa tong. Hyongche Sambala, Tembin the Hisheban and Lamja to Chepa the Jewato. Yogi may be happy Sambala Nibana, Tambat Nagi, Haba Jubin. That is something I think missing here. Tambat Nagi, Haba Jubin, Sende, Gevan Tada, Jesus Shobaton, Senjen Tamji, Teba Chimbola. Goban gave a chepajan, Shonje Sam Tombo Chebala Kulwates. Okay, I have to check with the main textbook because there might be something wrong. Sanjan, Yogi may be Sambana, Nibana, Tamba Denji. How about you been saying this? Okay, Dumpomano, Sanjan Lepende, Yichivat. Sonche Sambala, Tembin Degi Sheban, Lamj to Chepat, Yogi Mepar, Labis Samba Nibana, Tamba Denji, how about you but the S? Dumpomano, Sanjan. Okay, okay, anyway, abandoning what is false has the ground of virtue of benefit sentient beings. So when they talk about the benefit of the sentient beings. And then introducing the perceptions of the Bodhisattva as the teachers. I don't know this what they're talking about. It's more that we have generated confident Bodhisattvas are Buddhas. That was actual meaning, I think. and B, become special company on the path. That is the, if we have that kind of view, and it will be very special combinants on the path, mean that our path is become extraordinary. And then dwelling in the excellent thought of the non-decept is exemplified by rely on the Holy One arising them. What is that? Yogi mepa sambani bana tambangagi. So we thought, okay, having the extraordinary mind means actually we thought these two kind of things, you know, what is called this? These two kind of I'm talking about before, the debatingly and deviously. So that yogi me sambas that we call extraordinary mind, and someone who are in the extraordinary mind, then you already rely on the holy beings, and you are already saying of the praise of the holy things. So therefore, yes, they rely on the holy ones and praising them. You're praising them, and though indeed this is the consequence of all virtues. So those four are the important. Then all kind of virtues we can try to follow. And as establishing all sentient beings on the path of Mahayana has special purity, and first producing bodhicitta in the way of urged. So we have to kind of urge the who are entered into the Mahayana, you know, try to really help with the genuine helps. And then here the quotation. Kasyapas, if one has these dharmas, bodhicitta will not be forgotten. What are these for? Being conscientious about not speaking falsely, and then producer perception of the bodhisattvas as teachers. Here I think it's you have to generate your mind as like bodhisattvas as the Buddhas, and then sentient like Yojimeba speaking and dwelling in the excellent thought of the not behaving deceivingly and deceptively toward the sentient beings, and truly establishing all sentient beings in the Mahayana. So these are your wish, these are your mind goes with this, and then we call white mind. Yes, tengi goni sowana papa tingsan jebole yen dahi yen on dena kyonje semba tembos, and then they're talking about guidance bodhicitta by means of what establishes. So mind, we do have sometimes those minds, you know, we do have sometimes see qualities of the masters, sometimes we follow the masters, sometimes we are really genuinely helping to the sentient beings. And we do these things. We have sometimes extraordinary mind, and we are not lying, but our mind is not very stable. So in order to make more stable, then we need to use some more things. Here they're talking about that. Stabilize it is in the king of the Samadha Rajas, Buddha's teaching. One princess, Janus. If one has for perception, bodhicitta will be established. What are these for? They are perception of the two spiritual friends as Buddhas. This is now correct English translation. You know, before I don't know what they're talking about. They says there was very strange some words before. they're producing perception of Bodhisattva as teacher, and these are not really same. They are perception of two spiritual friends as a Buddhas. As a Buddhas, and then perception of the Dharma taught by them as a path, enlightenment path. Perception of those who practice it is components on the path. The perception of the all sentient beings as one's holy child. So this is really something very important conception, thinking. So if we practice in this kind of way, I think our mind is always can be very pure. So we need to train again and again. That is important. And then next one is the guidance to the mind of entering. There is like more application bodhicitta mind. And here has also and then as for explaining the detail of guiding the bodhicitta of entering, considering others' wealth of more important than ours. This is the practice trained in by the Bodhisattva. If they benefit others, the 7 evils of body and speech are actually beneficial. When they can be performed, however, their 3 of mind are never to be done. Ronden le jong yenden tsum ba yongje samba namje lhayate yenden jona ludong mugeda nongwika yo ten la geva ye yesam no nongwika metos. So in Bodhisattva, we application bodhicitta is more action. When we talk about action, the action of the body, action of the speech, and action of the mind. And then normally we talk about 10 unvirtues or 10 virtues, like 7 from our body and speech, 3 from the body, 4 from the speech. So when your mind has really genuine mind, the action, the 7 actions, body and speech, even looks like unvirtue, but still it's okay because your mind is something very pure. You are really concerning of them, not concerning of yourself. So therefore, sometimes you can do. But in the Vinaya practitioners, the body and speech action is very important. They never ever exceptional, in the Vinaya. So Vinaya is more concerning of the action is more body speech, but in the Mahayana, that what we call the if mind is totally thinking or pure, and then even the bodies can be okay. So therefore, here says, by desiring peace and goodness for personal benefit, even the good is the downfall for Bodhisattva children. For the benefit of others, even that which is evil. So, ronde hidendo be gewayong jasi sonje sendi tongwade yenshe pena mege kongla pa teyon la jale pa jalvi sons. So it's very clear here. If only thinking of yourself, even looks like your body and speech are virtual, and that is one of the downfall of the Bodhisattvas. But then, even for really unvirtue actions, but if you have genuine mind for benefit of others, it can be your acceptable. That can be Bodhisattva's activity. That was Buddha taught. So now here we should go more development with Laya, Shipitsaji, Laya, Drupitsaji, Laya, number Sumyapanas. And they took 3 kind of list. Learning to abandon what is to be abandoned. Learning to know what is to be known. Learning to practice what is to be practiced. So I think, is knowing of the what you really know is very important, particularly when we are talking about this downfall and these kind of things. So we have like 4 different schools, Gelupa, Kajupa, Nima, and Sakyas. Gelupa, they learn Vinaya is very kind of, when you become very old, very old, you learn Vinaya. When you are young, they learn more this Senma, I don't know, this logic things, what you call recognition or what?
Valid cognition.
Oh, valid cognitions, as well as Abhidhamma Kosha, and then Panchaparamita, Madhyamika, and these things they learn many, many years, 30, 40 years. They are very sharp mind. Then the end they learn, Vinayas. And in the Vinaya, they have very detailed what you have to do, what you should not do. And this kind of detail you never find any of other books. So when Gelupa masters, when they start to learn Vinaya, you already become old because all those young age, you have to learn many things. So then Zapata Rinpoche, little criticism there. He says, when you have vow and you have no knowing of this ethic, and when you know ethic, then you have no vow because vow is already broken because you did not know what you have to be done, what you have to be keep, and etc. So, like Pato Rinpoche put a little bit kind of point where to criticism, or not really criticism, but maybe kind of advice. So therefore, I think here what I'm saying is learning to know what to be know. And this, particularly these things are very important. So therefore, the first one, Tombolang, Savi Tombar Hibatong, Nyemong Tiendong, Ten Mepalichi Nigili, same song with Sartons. Here says, within this, first how to guide the mind from transgression of the root downfalls. Of course, that is one of the most important, right? Understand of what is downfall. And then also having the Kelasha is associate of the downfall, and the fault of the useless activity. Activities. There is also knowing when to permit and restrain. What means restrain? Oh, right. What you can do, what you cannot do is, I think that was they're talking about this. Like in the Vinayas also, what you can do, what you cannot do, the details. Here also they're talking about nonga hibala lapisa yilis. So how you training is there's 4 ways you can training, right? Knowing of the what you can do and what you cannot do. Kitchen. We need helping? Okay. Yeah, thank you. Sorry, that way. And then knowing of the root fall downs, and knowing of the negative emotions, and knowing of the useless things, and knowing of the what you do and what you cannot do. And that way we need to train our mind. So therefore, here says the first 3 were already spoken of above. What is downfall, what is negative, what is useless, they are already talked. Right? So that's why, therefore, 3 is already talked. And then, now they're talking about, as for the last one, there are occasions where the 10 non-virtue of the body and speech are permitted, so that we have to know. Of course, generally 10 unvirtue is no, we cannot do. But then certain point, when we are talking about, maybe I can say this way, if seeking of yourself, then turn on virtue is never permitted. It has to abandon. But then seeking of others, seeking of others or benefit of others, it can be still okay, the particular in the Mahayana teachings. So that's why they are talking about what you can do, what you cannot do, So permitted, and when it will be for others' benefit, and none that they should be performed. The greatness of one's own virtue will not be obscured by that, and in addition to that, no having observed on occasion for the three increases, Mahasattva should perform the 7 non-virtues. What it means is occasional, having obscured on occasional for 3 increase. What is that?
You can see the translator don't know it himself. He had put 3 questions mark. Why is it not those 600?
Just taken out in the
Wrong geva tele cheva madhubatin the peva samji neka tanis. What is the now topping here?
So if it is for others' benefit, then one's own virtue will not be obscured by that. There will not be a problem for the own virtue.
Okay, I think now we don't have much time. We should stop here. Maybe evening, maybe more fresh mind, or afternoon, I mean. Hopefully more fresh mind and something more. But today is which day now? How many days we are left? Only 6 days left, right? Or 7 days? Included today. So then it's 5 days, right? Fully 5 days. Okay. Yeah, any questions? Yeah.
Yes, page 249, reform 13, you did explain, but I missed it. To join the Mahayana, abandoning individual enlightenment. So,
Individual enlightenment is Hinayana's wish.
yes.
Still you don't know that?
Yes, of course.
Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah, who are?
on the same page 249, here in the translation he uses the word minister. And I wonder what it actually means, because in my dictionary in Finnish it means both priest, servant and like a member of government. So what is the minister in Tibet?
Tibet is minister as Lembo. It's next position of the king.
So like government.
Of course, government. The king is government. If the king is government, then minister is also government. If this king is private, then maybe minister is also private. But Tibet word Lembo is next position of the king. Yeah, Oli.
You thought that the mind-only tradition of the bodhicitta came from Maitreya to Asanga, and the Madhyamika tradition came through Nagarjuna.
From Manjushri to Nagarjuna. And they both, like they says, Buddha, Manjushri, Nagarjuna, Buddha, Maitreya, Asanga. So normally the Asanga and Nagarjuna is human, but Manjushri is already like Bodhisattva levels. You don't know who is right, who is really, they manifest many forms. like a little bit invisible for comments. Yes.
And then the teachings of Maitreya, are they mind-only teachings?
No, there's not mind only. There's,
Okay.
there's, so anyway, these two have to be joined. Two has to be joined. You know, Mahayana we say profound teaching and then vast teaching. So profound teaching is Nagarjuna's teaching, main focus of the emptiness, and then vast teaching, main focus of the omniscient, like from the Asanga's teaching, like the that what is called this Julama, what is English called Julama? This authentic, this continue. What is called this Julama? The Buddha nature, Buddha center, and a bit this Panchaparamitas and ornament of the sutras, and like all these are the more they're talking about, you know, omniscient or luminosity or compassion part. So Nimapa says we have to go together, you know. The Nagarjuna more emphasize absolute truth, Asanga more emphasize relative truth, but these two are not contradiction.
Still this page 249, and in the bottom, ordinary people, they say that 8 characterized list of 8, but there is just 7, so how was it like?
Sorry?
This 249, and it was said in the bottom so that there are these 8 characterized, mainly for ordinary people.
No,
And then now there is just 7 in this list.
only 7 list.
So how was that? Okay, yes, it was, yeah.
Okay, yes, 12 was there. Yes. Yeah.
Same page and actually saying what Patricia was asking, because from what I understood, this number 13 is to cause someone to leave the Shavaka path and instead join the Mahayana, even though it's not proper for that person. Is that correct?
I think what number, page number?
13.
Page number?
Yeah, 249.
249. 249 and 13, right? Yeah, join the Mahayana abandoned individual enlightenment, right. So someone already the individual enlightenment path, and then we try to bring this up, you know, don't look at their capacity. So that is not good. And he have his own karmic link and his own capacity for the individual. So you have to wait, you know, we don't push him. Oh, sorry. Oh.
Here and there, this correct or wrong view comes up. So I guess it's all different, the correct view in different levels. Is it all that?
Yeah, I think wrong view has many different ways. Like when you are follow the masters, and then if we think there's nothing qualities, then we call wrong view. And if you have followed the Mahayana teachings, at the end, then you don't believe or you think something else, and then that is also wrong view. If you are Hinayana, we have believe cause and karma, and then somehow you don't care of cause and karma or don't believe, it is also wrong view.
Are there some lists of the right view? What is contained in the right view?
As right view, there are many right views according to your path. I mean, like in the Hinayana, then the right view is at least they have to find selflessness, knowing of the karma and cause effect, suffering of the samsara, and all these are the like according to Buddha's teaching. So if you have those kind of things, are called right view. And then Mahayana practitioners, at least, you know, like when we have bodhicitta, race of the bodhicitta mind, we have to have some kind of view of the emptiness and interdependent origination. Then on the top of that, we're talking about accumulated merit, accumulated wisdom on the path. And they're talking about 2 kayas. And if you think those are just nothing or fanciful or something, then it's wrong view. And if you think more like that way, it's something you find, it should be right view.
On these earlier pages, I have 2 questions. So, 161. Did you already say that these 3 aspects?
161.
Yeah.
3 aspects, yes, 161 ways, yes.
In the headline.
Yes.
So was it to trust, purify, and increase?
No, this is not that one. This 3 is then they comes, 3 aspects. The one is exchanging, that they say page number 165, the extensive explanation of exchanging self and others is 1. Oh, no. First was that brief teaching, and second was extensive explanation of exchanging and others, and third one was how you how you will be on the mindfulness and aware and careful. These 3 are they're talking about.
So there's like these are important, these measureless ways. So what is actually the 4th measureless? So first you have a measureless sentient being.
Enlightenment, sentient beings, and immeasurable of the bodhicitta mind, immeasurable of the virtue, and immeasurable of the Buddhahood.
Okay, because it has been translated 2 times, same thing.
Yeah, it's like one is more enlightened, one is more enlightened path. Yeah.
So this asanas and nagarjunas, bodhicitta traditions, is it like how do you say? Is it following is it like sutra vows or tantric vows? This kind of belonging to that.
Sorry?
These asangas and nagarjunas, bodhicitta vows. Is it like do they belong to sutra or tantra?
What is different? That where they came from? This different. That I never heard this kind of question. Okay. So I have to learn.
Because as I said that the Zen traditions, they follow the Brahmajala Sutra, the Bodhicitta vows from the Brahmajala Sutras, and they are a little bit different.
Okay.
So I'm just thinking that what is the main reason, like why?
I think we should think how to raise our bodhicitta. That is important.
So they have all the same goal, but it's just...
I really don't know what is Zen talking, so I cannot give any answer. If you have from here something, I can tell a little bit. So if you have Zen ideas, then you can go to the Zen master and clarify from them, and you will find more things. Now you know from here, and then you go to the Zen master and asking, we have this and that, and what is yours came from, and so on and so forth. Sonandaye damje zebanya dana nyembe dana bamye ye yega nanja balandru sepen zalen droba yo yonje zanjo rumba je maye banam yeba nyamba meba yon gone gondam beva yo